Welcome back to AM Northwest. If you're like most people, you likely made a New Year's resolution. And if you're like 92% of the population, you won't achieve your goal. Here to help us change those odds around, we welcome motivational speaker George Carroll. Okay, so I think a lot of people do make New Year's resolutions, but I understand that we're setting ourselves up for failure by how we make the New Year's resolution?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you mentioned, 92% of people fail to achieve the resolutions. And that's because they're really just setting the intention, and it's a great first start. You know, people will set a resolution and then they just kind of hope that somehow, some way it's going to come to fruition, but they don't plan, they don't organize, they don't strategize, and so we'll talk about some of that stuff today.
Right. I mean, last year my intention was to be more intentional.
Mm-hmm. How'd it go for you?
It didn't go well. I mean, it's like, because I'm a very routine person. I like my routines and I just kind of go along with it and it works for me, so I keep going, but I wanted to somehow break that, but I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So how do we change that? How do we do it right?
Well, one great way is to write down your goals. So there was a great study done by the Harvard Business School, the graduates of 1979. They broke them up into 3 groups. The first group, they didn't have any goals. The second group, they had goals, but they didn't write them down. The third group, they had goals and they wrote them down.
Oh.
10 years later, they followed up with these groups. The second group, who had goals but didn't write them down, were making almost twice as much as the first group.
Oh.
Financially.
Okay.
The staggering thing about that is the third group, who had goals and they wrote them down, were making up to 10 times more than both of the groups combined. So writing them down is one simple way.
You know what? And I think that people just need to figure out what they want. I think maybe that's why that first group didn't have any goals, because it's kind of hard to know what your goal should be. So once we can identify that, then what do we do? Like, we don't just write them down. Is there a system for writing them down?
Well, it's pretty simple, because once you're writing things down, it also activates your neurology. And the more you write it down, the stronger that neurological pattern becomes. And the brain doesn't know the difference between something that we're vividly imagining as in a goal and something that we're actually experiencing. And so when we can write it down consistently or see it consistently, our brain begins to think that it's real, and it helps.
I love this. Oh, I'm going to be writing so much. You know what? I got this book for Christmas that's like a memory journal, and it's every day you wake up and you write, today I want to, and then at the end of the night you go, today I was happy I did this, or whatever.
Love it.
And I love that.
It's a nice sandwich effect.
Right, but I feel like to get my New Year's resolution, like I want to sleep more, that I need to actually be different about it. Like I need to, so help me out here.
You got to take a look at your habits. So what were your habits in 2016 that didn't allow you to sleep as much as you did? And then you got to go back and say, okay, what are some new behaviors, new habits that I can install?
Okay, you have something called SCORE, is that it?
Yeah, yeah, it's a 5-part formula. You know, one of the things that I tell people is why they don't achieve their New Year's resolutions, I call the Kevin Costner Field of Dreams.
Okay.
In that movie, you remember, if you build it, they will come.
Right.
And this is what a lot of people do when they approach their New Year's goals, is that they just kind of set it and hope that somehow, some way it's going to show up.
That's what I did last year.
Yeah. So hope isn't a success strategy,
no,
is it?
it's not.
And the second way that people fail is that something I call the Bill Murray Groundhog's Day effect. And you remember that movie?
Yes.
Bill Murray lives the same day over and over and over again.
It's hilarious.
And people approach their goals this way. They'll set a New Year's resolution, but they'll go back to doing the same things that they did the previous year.
Right. And it's usually the same New Year's resolution, don't you think?
Probably.
People want to lose weight or sleep more like me, or...
Yeah, there's certain categories I think that if we focus on can really improve the quality of our lives in those areas.
Right.
And so what we need to do is remember that anytime we're doing the same things over and over and over again, expecting a different result, we're practicing the definition of insanity.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have a SCORE formula, and the S stands for see it as complete. So again, the brain doesn't know the difference between something you vividly imagine in your mind and something you're actually experiencing it. So when you see it over and over and over again, your brain's like, oh, this is happening now. So see it as complete. Yeah. The C, most important part, Tammy. Most important part.
I agree. Okay, I'm going to do this.
You got to do it.
Okay, see it.
The C, yeah, see it is complete, and then the C in SCORE stands for community.
Okay.
This, I think, is the most important. You got to find people who want to support you and encourage you in achieving your goals. We all know that misery loves company.
It really does.
Yeah, and also, so does success and happiness and joy. You know, and
you don't think people get jealous or want to take you down because...
Of course they do. The big secret I discovered along the way is that they get jealous. Like, let's say they're part of your friend group, your inner circle. They get jealous, not because they want you to fail, but because they don't actually want you to leave. They don't want you to outgrow them.
Oh, that's it.
That's it, yeah. And so we got to find the people and the groups of folks that will help us achieve our goals and really, you know, motivate us.
See, Community.
The O stands for organize, plan, and strategize. So you set a New Year's resolution.
Organized plan. That's 3 in 1, George.
It is. It is. I'm cheating. I'm cheating.
Okay.
So if you're not organizing, you're not planning, you're not strategizing on, okay, what new habits do I need to take on? What old habits do I need to let go of? And you're not organizing and structuring your time as the couple was talking about earlier. If you're not organizing that time, then you're just going to go back to old habits.
Okay.
Yeah. The R stands for review your goals daily. So if you can write down your goals or even just read your goals every single day, it increases the chances of you achieving your goals. And then finally, the E stands for engage. You got to take action. I mean, a lot of people are out there getting ready to get ready. They're waiting for all the lights on the road to turn green before they step on the gas. And there becomes a point in time where you just got to go.
Okay, let's quickly show your vision board, because I think some people make fun of vision boards. I think they're hokey, but I support a vision board. Look at yours. You get an idea of what you want in your life by looking at this.
Yeah, so me and my wife made this. As you can see, our cute little son in the middle. So we have family in the middle there and the fun zone. And so what you want to do when you're creating a vision board is you want to take a look at what are the top 4 or 5 areas of your life that you would like to improve. And, you know, maybe you narrow it down to 3, but maybe it's career, health, family, and then you place images and words and sayings and things that really help you connect with the energy and the feeling of what you desire to create.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
That is all great tips. So we're going to have all that information on our website at KETU.com. Thank you so much,
You're
George.
welcome, Tammy. Thanks for having me.